Right. So last night I actually did a recording on my reaction to Vince McMahon, but I was trying to do something cool, and I forgot like my tripod back in my truck here, and I was doing a recording of me behind like some WWE poster back. So I had a background to have like my reaction toward the Vince McMahon situation of him retiring. The audio was absolute shit. So I'm going to give my proper reaction to it right now. I'm glad, and the reason that I'm glad that Vince is retiring is not solely because potential possibility of changes to be made within the company. That's not the reason. And my friend Steven asked me, sorry, bud, I don't know your handle on Twitter. I'll put your channel in the description. But he asked me, did I hear about Vince McMahon? And I said, yeah, and I'm glad. And the reason that I'm glad is because that Vince McMahon clearly left because there's got to be more that's going to come out about the non-disclosure agreements. There's got to be more that's going on with the story as to why that Vince McMahon stepped down. And I'm glad because that just means that no one man in that company is above, I don't want to say above the law, because that's kind of like the saying that I'm going for here, but it's not really what it means to the story. But you kind of get what I mean, that Vince McMahon is not above everyone else. That Vince McMahon is, I don't want to say on the same level as everyone else, but he suffers the same consequences that others, would in his situation. And I'm glad for that, because if you can't excuse it for one person, you shouldn't excuse it for a second person. That's not how it works. Now, I have seen a lot of people going online thanking Vince McMahon, and I saw Stephanie McMahon on SmackDown saying, thank you, Vince McMahon, trying to get a chant. Not even trying. People were apparently chanting it, on SmackDown. Stephanie got them for a rah, rah, rah chant for Vince McMahon. And sheep is what I would call them. The sheep. They do what they want. They do what, WWE tells them to do, pretty much. They tell you, oh, let's start a chant. And 9 times out of 10, they just, chant along just because they want to feel involved. Now, does that sound harsh for me to say? Yeah, maybe a little bit. But, Vince McMahon, I was talking about this last night. Again, I made a video last night, so this one's not going to be as long because I wanted to cover all my bases last night, but I wasn't really fully prepared, on everything that I wanted to talk about. There were some times where I was taking like pauses and just trying to think about the next thing that I want to say. So this one will be a little bit shorter. I'm thankful for Vince McMahon introducing me into professional wrestling as a kid, because I'll be honest, I have a mainstream mindset, pretty much. Back then I wish I was watching New Japan. I still want to do more to watch New Japan. Just sometimes I'm so busy with a lot of shit that I forget to literally, go and, I'm subscribed to New Japan, but I'm so busy sometimes that I forget to, go and watch like some of the G1, some of the matches that they've got. There's plenty of matches that I got to catch up on, plenty of matches that I want to see. I know some of the wrestlers, but, back then it was like around 2016 that, I was starting to fall out of love with WWE. And the reason why is because, not solely because it was becoming boring, but at the same time, my mindset works like this. I'm pretty good at what I do with thinking of like storylines. I feel like I'm pretty good about, fantasy booking. And the thing that I hate the most is that if I fantasy book, I feel like that the people who are getting paid by the company should do a better job of booking it than I do, because you're getting paid for it. But I never really was seeing that. So I was like, wait a second, why are my ideas better than your ideas? And I don't think that I'm just tooting my own horn here. I really genuinely feel like that it's just like, that's just ridiculous. I'm like, I'm getting nothing out of making these stories. And I'm like, and for what? I'm, trying to book something that I think will be fun, when in reality that I know that's not going to happen. So I started falling out of love with WWE around 2016. The only thing that was really keeping me watching at that time was SmackDown and Chris Jericho. Because Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens on Monday Night Raw, they were fucking awesome. But I, didn't hear about, at the time, I never really watched New Japan until Chris Jericho went there. And so I was able to discover more wrestlers out there, Kenny Omega, Okada, Suzuki, all those wrestlers, Naito, the list goes on and on. Do I know? I still got some work to do, like I said. But, it was, I was starting to fall out of love with professional wrestling. And to me, that hurts, because pro wrestling pretty much is like my life. And I don't know if that sounds nerdy to say, I don't know, but it's literally so much for me is professional wrestling. It's like the first love that I really discovered, besides family, that comes first always, but it was one of the first loves that I feel like I really discovered in my life was professional wrestling. And so I am thankful for Vince McMahon for that, but at the same time, Vince McMahon is also the man that almost, I don't want to say killed my love for professional wrestling, but during that time, again, I had like a mainstream mindset where, I didn't know where TNA was anymore. They're not on Spike TV. They're not on Access. I didn't even know how to access Access. I didn't know where to find these channels that TNA was on. And at the time, TNA wasn't even the same TNA. I mean, TNA, thankfully, is starting to get back, up in there. They're starting to, get more, I don't know, I can't really say about the viewerships. I don't really see anything about it. But it feels like they're kind of getting the old TNA back, just a little bit. Not as much as it was before, but just a little bit there. Like, it's starting to get some traction back, which is fucking awesome. We need that. Professional wrestling needs more companies than just AEW and WWE to succeed. We need TNA as well to be able to succeed a little bit, because when you're not, I don't want to say good enough to be in AEW, Tony Khan's got a stacked, roster. It's really big now. So it's hard for him to find placements for people, even with all the shows that he's got going on. But it's hard to find placements. So with TNA, it's good to see them, starting to grow again, so that way more people have other places to go. But let's get back to the story about Vince McMahon. I don't want to speculate. What does this mean for WWE? What is this, gonna do for WWE? How much change are we really gonna see? I don't know. People have been asking. I've seen, Vince McMahon never said that he was gonna step away from the creative, but I don't know. After being able to do a little bit of research, people seem to believe that Vince McMahon is fully retired from the company, and I made a video on the whole TV14 thing about WWE, and I said that none of it matters because Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard are still running for the show. But, if Vince McMahon's gone and, Stephanie is going to oversee the script, there's not going to be any bra and panties matches, bikini contest. At least I would hope so, because a woman is in charge, and I would think that she's like, we've seen what the women can do as, just wrestlers. They don't need to expose their bodies, to get fucking views. So I have a little bit more faith in that now. But that's, not going to really be happening to the women out there. But I lost track with where I was going with this. I'm sorry. So let's just go to my ending statements here on the whole thing. I'm thankful for Vince McMahon, yes, at a stage where I was a child. In my adult years, I don't know how to thank him because I don't watch his product anymore. I'm willing to wait and see if the product gets better. Like if people start to tell me, not like, okay, this was a good week of Monday Night Raw, and the next week is like, yep, it was shit again, or back to the shitty. It's like, yes, there's good and bad weeks, but it's like, I need more goods than bads. Like if you tell me that there are like 3 to 4 weeks of good quality WWE television of Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, then you know what? I'll be like, you know what? I'll give it a shot. I'll give it a shot to see if they can keep me this time. Because I give them so many chances. And, I have. I came back for, one night. I don't remember why. And the last time I can really remember devoting my entire 3 hours to Monday Night Raw was when Christian was facing Randy Orton. And I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty cool. And I was like, I'm going through the shit. I'm going through shit. There's nothing happening. Nothing exciting is happening. And then I get to the match. I was like, all right, let's go. And I was like, where's Christian's gear? I was like, what the fuck's going on? And then, I don't remember, I think Randy just put him in the head or something like that. I was like, that's fucking it. I was like, I wasted my time with this? I'm like, are you kidding me? So, that's one of the last times that I can really remember that I devoted my time to Monday Night Raw. I'm sure there was some other time, but that's besides the point. Again, I'm thankful for Vince in my childhood years. Without him, I wouldn't have been able to really discover professional wrestling. But as far as right now, I just hope he enjoys his retirement. Stay home and just enjoy your life now, Vince. I really just don't forget about the things that he's done. Okay, and I'm not talking about the non-disclosure agreement that was going on, or not going on, but the whole, I don't know if it's really a trial, or I guess you could just call it a case that's going on right now. Well, I don't really think they're taking him to court, so I don't know if you could call it a trial or a case, but you know what I mean. I don't have really the exact wordings that I should be saying, but just multiple wrestlers that Vince McMahon has pretty much let go. Bray Wyatt, Matt Hardy, Dean Ambrose, now Jon Moxley, CM Punk, multiple wrestlers. You can make the list that goes on and on. Daniel Bryan, one of the biggest stars that WWE had, Daniel Bryan left for AEW. That says a lot, that about AEW, that it's the new company that people want to go to. But we're not here to talk about that. And I fucking hate that I do that sometimes. Like, I'm talking about a WWE thing and I go on to, say something about AEW. And it's just, I can't stay on topic at times. So, I apologize. But, just, you can be thankful for Vince in stages. Like I said, I'm thankful for him in my childhood for helping me, watch pro wrestling and give me great moments. Because there are a lot of great moments that, WWE has given us, of course. But, lately there's just been nothing really to watch. And, apparently I heard that Brock Lesnar, walked out on SmackDown. And not walked out, like, to the ring. He walked out, then he walked back in. But I don't understand Brock's devotion to Vince McMahon. What the fuck does Brock Lesnar get out of it? I was like, WWE still has the same amount of money. It's like, if Vince goes, what's going to change? Do you think they're going to pay you any less, Brock? I mean, maybe that's what he's concerned about. But, it's like there's just no need for that. Just fucking do your job. And when you think about, if Brock Lesnar walked out, what the fuck is the Undertaker thinking about? What the hell? What's the problem? I don't know if that's how Undertaker would really feel. But yeah, that's my whole thoughts on it pretty much. I don't know if we're going to see change, when we're going to see change, how long it's going to take for us to see change in WWE. It's an unknown. We've never seen this happen before, really, where there's no Vince McMahon in WWE. He's at home, and is he going to be running for the shows? We don't know. We honestly don't know. We'll just have to wait and see to see how the product gets along. I heard that on SmackDown that when it came to the War Raiders, that they were called that commentary said they were former Ring of Honor and IWGP Tag Team Champions, and that's clearly something you would never hear under the Vince McMahon regime. That's so there is some change that you saw happening, and because it's you wouldn't get away with that. You never can say something like that, pretty much. So that's huge. Just to acknowledge that, it's a little change there, but it's a step in a right direction that might happen. We don't know. It's too early to tell, and like I said, I don't want to make any speculations of, who's going to run creative, who's going to run NXT, is NXT going to go back to the black and gold because Triple H got reinstated, or to his, what's the right title? Talent relations. I think that's the right term. I think that's the right title for it. I apologize if I got it wrong, but I think there was a long message in the link that WWE put out about Triple H. So, how are things going to change? And so there is the CEOs of Stephanie McMahon and Nick Khan. And just think about it. Nick Khan has barely been in the company, and yet he's a co-founder of the CEO. To me, I feel like that's I don't get it. I mean, I guess at least Stephanie's there because when she's in a bind, who is she gonna reach out? Will she reach out to Paul Levesque, or will she reach out to Vince McMahon? We don't know, but I mean, they can work together, Stephanie and Triple H. Stephanie has the final say so, but Triple H, they can also, comment on things together to bounce ideas off each other. So it could work that way. I don't really want, again, that's as far as I want to speculate. I don't really want to comment on too much, so about any speculations of what's going to happen, because the truth is, we don't know. So is this going to draw in more viewers to watch to see how the new era of WWE looks? Possibly. I was watching Solid Monster last night talk about this, and some fans asked, will this, make... I don't remember if the question was, will this make some AEW wrestlers want to come to WWE, which could be a big possibility, but, would this drive a lot of AEW fans to watch WWE? And here's the thing. If you are like me, who is an AEW fan, what I would say, if you're interested in watching WWE, maybe just sit back and wait. Wait to see how the product gets. Read the reviews, or watch, stuff from Wrestle Talk or Solid Monster, What Culture, wherever you get your pro wrestling news and reviews from. I would say watch those guys instead of, wasting your 3 hours or 2 hours of time with SmackDown. Give yourself time to judge for yourself if you start seeing improvements or if it still feels like the same shit. Because, pretty much the whole show of SmackDown. The commentary may have changed, but the outcomes and how the wrestling is, being booked was pretty much all the same as the Vince McMahon regime. Now, Vince, retired earlier in the afternoon, so really, not worth, rewriting the SmackDown show just yet, so we can see how they do on Raw. But again, are things going to change right away? I highly doubt it. But, just give it time, and who knows? We'll see. Again, this has never happened. We've never seen WWE without a Vince McMahon in there as the head honcho. So how does it look when he steps away and Stephanie's there? Is Nick Khan really going to do much? I was listening to Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer talk about how when it comes to the wrestling aspect, it's going to be pretty much Stephanie McMahon, and you can imagine that, Triple H will be, by her side to give some input as well, or advice if she asks for it. But when it comes to, business aspect, pretty much that's probably going to be just, Nick Khan's ruling over there. So we'll see how this all goes with all that. Am I curious? Yes, I'm curious, but at the same time, I don't want to really watch anything and waste my time potentially. I want to wait to see if the product gets better before I start rewatching again. So again, we'll see. We shall see. Excuse me. Not even doing a universe mode. My voice is cracking a little bit. Oh, and that's not worth talking about. We're not gonna get off topic right again. So that's pretty much it that I've got to say about that, guys. Make sure to super click the subscribe, Coffin Drop like button, and go ahead and you can comment if you want to. So that's all for me, guys. And as always, make sure to stay cool and enjoy this Saturday. I got some rain coming today, so my Saturday might not look too good. Oh, final closing statement though. We got Ring of Honor Death Before Dishonor. Make sure to go ahead and purchase that pay-per-view. I'm pretty sure it should be a pretty damn good one. I'm very excited to see that one, and I will be getting a AEW episode recording in today, hopefully. I'm going to try to. I was going to do it last night, but I was so fucking out of it. So, that's all, guys. Stay cool.